Jumping straight into Bitcoin's price action, we can see there was the bear flag that we have been watching. And I really do think it was too soon to really be calling this a bear flag, but I was just putting these lines in to see whether or not it would hold up. However, we have broken below the support. We've come up today, retested what was support and is now resistance. And this could actually be us getting rejected. So I'd be watching 65,700 to see if it holds up going into this weekend. Another way to look at this would be to remove these, right? And you can take a look at this low right here, this low right here, and this low right here. And you can actually see it's very strange, but this is somewhat of a higher low structure forming right here, which could be relatively bullish. But what I'm got my eyes on right now is the Iran, Trump, America situation. And as we know from Trump, he tends to say something or do something when the US stock market is closed, not when it's open. And it tends to be on a Friday evening, some sort of big push. You know, on a Friday evening, markets are just closing or have already closed, and then it's normally resolved by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All right. So that's what I actually expect to happen right here. Could be completely wrong or completely off. I am guessing this, of course, by the news and what I'm seeing according to history. But right now we see Bitcoin 66,800, and I'm actually looking for an opportunity. As you know, I look for where the liquidity lies, and the liquidity, in my opinion, is lying in these regions. What is the liquidity I'm talking about? I'm talking about people's stop losses and liquidation points, and probably most importantly, their emotional capitulation points. Now, the reason why they're just under these previous lows is because that's where people decide, okay, well, if the market goes to that point, it means that it's dead, right? If it goes that low, it's dead. When in actuality, these markets are designed to trick you into believing that's the case before we move against what the majority of the retail are doing. Whether that's long or short, it can happen both sides. But the piece of data that I like to look at is the liquidation map, right? We can look all the way up to a year, 180 days and so on, but I think the 30-day is the nicest for the kind of swing trading that I do. Now, right now, we see 5.37 billion of shorts and about 3.36 billion of longs. So the reason I don't have a position open right now is I don't like the amount of longs here. I would much rather we wipe out these over leveraged longs before I start to take the risk. I was talking about potentially going long yesterday in our live stream as we did lose that bear flag we were watching right around this region. Could have made a little bit of money at first today, but we have come back down. And I do think that right now, I'm not feeling too confident. I want to see the longs flushed. How do we see the longs flushed? We come down to the liquidity. Those longs are the liquidity that lies here. So once that's gone, I can then potentially get in once we've wiped out the longs. And if the manipulation is true, which obviously I hands down believe it is, then somewhere in this region, we may get a violent bounce to the upside, which I can take advantage of. Now, of course, all speculation, all based on news, based on macro, and based, of course, on basic TA that I do here on the channel. But that's my plan. Now, with that said, we had Michael Saylor posting here, if it's not going to zero, it's going to a million. This is Bitcoin. This is how I feel about it, right? 50-50, 50% chance it goes to zero, 50% chance it goes to a million. Do I really think it's a 50% chance it goes to zero? No, I think it's much lower than that, but let's just call it 50-50 odds. I like those odds. 50% chance I lose 100% of my money, or a 50% chance I make a 20-ish X on my money. That's what I like. Those are the odds. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. But it's never a dull moment. Trump just posted this just a few minutes before we've started making this video here. The Democrat shutdown cost the USA at least 2 points in GDP. That's why they're doing it in mini form. Again, no shutdowns. Also, lower interest rates. Too late, pal, is the worst. President Donald J. Trump. So he's pushing it. He's pushing it as much as he can to try and get these interest rates down. With that said, we have 6 trillion Fidelity CEO said that I like Bitcoin. I own Bitcoin. It will play a role in the savings hierarchy. The people with the money right here, the people with the money are still holding and accumulating Bitcoin, holding and accumulating Bitcoin. All right, we can see Bitcoin's net realized profit and loss is turning negative. Spikes in realized losses often appear during the late stages of market corrections. Bitcoin also is claimed to have never gone below its electrical cost. I've seen this going around a lot today and it pops around. So I wanted, let's just check out what Grok had to say. So I said, is this factually correct? No, the claim in this post that Bitcoin's price has never gone below the electrical production cost is not factually correct. While the overlaid chart may illustrate a general correlation, they have often acted as support levels since 2019. Historical data shows multiple incidents where Bitcoin's price has dropped below the estimated average electricity cost. All right. Historical instances where price fell below happened multiple times, 2016 to 2017, late 2018 to 2019. You might be thinking, well, Conor, you're meant to be bullish. Shouldn't this be you should not be talking about this? Well, no, we have to look at all sides of the coin, and there's nothing I hate more than fake hopium in this market. My bear market strategy in yesterday's live, I'm going to, I don't know what it's called when you do it, but I'm going to be layering my DCA. Normally with my DCA for the stock market, for example, for the S&P 500, I buy it weekly. On a Monday, I just buy some. I don't care. But right now, I'm actually diverting a lot of that cash instead of, I'm still doing it, but I'm reducing the amount and I'm diverting that cash into a cash pile that I'm going to be investing into Bitcoin, right? And the way I'm doing this is at price points, I will be averaging in. As we go down, I'll be averaging in heavier and heavier until we get to what I consider the most likely area if the bear market plays exactly how it has done the last two previous bear markets I've been in. Heavier and heavier to that point, but still saving some of the capital just in case we wick even lower and I can get even more Bitcoin at an even better price. That's my strategy. And guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.